Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm here with the one and only Harlem Eubank. Harlem, before I pushed record there, I said to you, I've probably seen that knockout victory over Mashadod about 100 times, but it's been all over social media, man. Are you sick of the sight of seeing it?
It just keeps coming back, doesn't it? But it's out of my memory now. You know, I'm moving forward straight from that, so it's got a clean slate in my head, you know, and I'm ready to do the business Saturday. I can't be thinking about stuff I've done in the past. It's nice, but it's irrelevant now. I'm on to you know, bigger challenges, and this is definitely a good test on Saturday.
It definitely is. I mean, he's a Mexican fighter, Elliot Chavez, I believe his name is. Now, again, it's probably, I've said this to a lot of fighters that have fought Mexicans that have come over, unknown Mexicans that they've came here and they've upset the apple cart. They've actually huge, Josh Warrington, Robbie Davis Jr., just to name two. But for you, I mean, there's no way you're losing, man, because you're on a trajectory right now where you're a couple of fights away from a big, huge fight, well, for a big title. So, are you expecting a tough fight against this Mexican fighter? Definitely.
In my head, you know, I'm unstoppable. So, you know, I'll do whatever it takes, and this will be a good test, and I have to overcome. You know, a good challenge in front of me. This is an unknown Mexican kid, and as you say, they come over and they don't come to play. They really come to fight. This kid, he's stopped Lara on his resume, so this kid's a serious kid, and I'm not taking him lightly.
What do you know of him then? Have you seen him?
I haven't seen too much of him, but you know, his resume is good. You know, he looks game, comes to fight. So it's going to make for an exciting fight to watch come Saturday.
Do you pay much attention to the rankings? I mean, when I looked at BoxRec coming down here, obviously you can look at Josh Taylor and Jack Carroll, they're up there, but you look at the division right now for you, are you needing the guys that are in and around your sort of ranking in terms of, I'll rattle a couple of names off, O'Hara Davis's, Jimenez Brown's, Robbie Davis Jr., Dalton Smith, who's a young up-and-coming fighter as well. Do you need to face one of these guys in the near future, maybe in 1 or 2 fights' time?
I think I'm heading towards, you know, the top of the pile step by step. You know, I've come a long way from, you know, the beginning when people thought I was in this, you know, just to try and live off the name, you know, and people have seen throughout my career that's not the case. I'm in this because, you know, I wanna fight, and I want everything that comes with. You know, trying to make it to be a solid contender in this professional boxing game, and I believe that's what I'm becoming. And like I said, I don't pay too much attention to the rankings, because what do they mean at the end of the day? You can fight or you can't fight, but I feel like I'm heading towards the top of the pile, step by step.
You mentioned living off the name, obviously in your early part of your career, that Eubank name. So did you feel pressure in the younger years, in the early stages of your professional career? Do you feel any pressure coming fighting on with that name?
Definitely, a lot of pressure. The first time, my pro debut, the fight after, you know, the commentators are comparing me to a world champion. They're saying, you know, this kid, you know, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's not doing this. You know, 30 amateur fights and straight into the pros, and I'm being compared to world champions. So that's what comes with it, you know. And that pressure can, you know, it can make you shy away from fighting and the boxing game, or you can dig down, bite down, crack on, and you know, show some tenacity and defy the odds. And I believe that's what I'm doing.
I know how much respect you've got for this game. I know how serious you take this game in terms of your diet, what the food, the things you put in your body, the training, and the respect you have for your opponents, because everyone might see you doing the martial arts stance and the bowing and stuff like that, but that's your way of showing respect to the dangers of the game and how much effort it takes to become a professional fighter. So you do have a lot of respect. You're not going to change your ways in terms of, if I have a big huge gap in between fights, I'm going to have that one drink or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to change your ways. You're dedicated to the sport.
Yeah, I live the life, and I have since I started. I know I needed to do more than anyone else to break through in the sport of boxing, and I've lived that way since the day I started. There's no gaps between fights when I'm not in the gym. I'm constantly in the gym. I eat well, I live right, and I've dedicated myself to boxing for 10 years straight, no gaps. So I believe that will show out, in the near future.
In terms of that being said, then, when will we see a title around your waist? When will we see you fighting for one of these major titles, whether it be the British or some sort of ranking title? We know the WBO internationals and all this sort of stuff. When can we see you fight for one of them?
Soon. I'm hoping soon. I feel like with my resume on the domestic scene, I feel like I should be first in line. I've come through the 50-50 fights, many of them, and I've overcome the challenges and the hurdles that were placed in front of me, and I believe that I should be first in line for them title fights now. So depending on like I said, I can't control the rankings and who's put up for them titles, but I believe I'm there.
Harlem, please forgive me because you've probably been asked this question. It'll be remiss of me not to ask the question, but obviously there's a lot of rumbling, maybe some big news happening at the end of the week. We've got Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. We talk about you having that name, and the pressure of this fight, right? 29 years almost to the day that the fathers fought each other. Yeah. 29 years, I mean, that's ridiculous. And Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr., I'm going to have to get your thoughts.
It's a great event, It's entertainment. It's the entertainment business, and it's engaged the public in that manner. They're both characters reminiscent of their fathers, not exactly the same, but I think it will rub together nicely for a big pay-per-view event.
Can you pick a winner in it? Because a lot of people are saying, obviously, you've got the size of Chris. Obviously, he's fought up at super middleweight. Conor Benn hasn't gone past that welterweight. There is Chris boiling himself down, Conor going up to face the bigger man. There's a lot of different sort of aspects to this where there's a lot of sort of percentages where one fighter might win because of this, or one fight might win because of that. How do you see it?
I can't see it being close in terms of reality. In terms of entertainment, it's a great event, but in terms of the size, the work rate, the experience, the opposition, the achievements, it's just common sense.
Are you saying Chris?
I mean, all the things I've reeled off, they're clearly, in Chris's favour. Chris has achieved a lot in the sport, and there's a reason he's achieved what he has at super middle. He's never been a super middle. He's a middleweight, and I've never seen him do a water cut. Yeah. So he just wakes up and fights. So Chris he's a different kind of animal. So
there is that rehydration clause. I don't know if I've read about it. So Chris can't come in at some size or something like that. I'm not too sure.
I don't know what it's about. I don't think you should try and make a fighter weaker. After previously saying I'll fight him at 160. So it is what it is.
Size matters.
This boxing game, there's weight categories for a reason, and the entertainment of it can kind of cloud your opinion. If you're not inside the boxing game, but weights are there to keep people safe, and Chris is a different weight and a different ability.
I've got to mention, obviously, as a young man growing up, when I was boxing in these gyms, and I can remember my dad watching Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn back in the day. When I'm thinking of the press conference as a boxing fan at this age, I'm almost hoping that the dads go at it. I know they won't, because they're a lot wiser and they're older now and they've done their bit for the game, but is there a small part of you that hoping that you can see the two dads going at it for old time's sake?
I don't think they go at it, but I think the war of words will be very interesting, and I think it's one of the main attractions of the fight. To see the dads
interact, sort of thing.
Interaction. This is, people want to see how do the dads react to their sons fighting in this new era. I think to promote it or to have the fight without the dads doesn't make any sense. So I think a large percentage of it is going to be people wanting to see the dads kind of interaction, if there's still a feud, if there's, you know, if it's two friends now, or how they communicate with each other.
I mean, like you said, it's an entertaining event. It's going to be a spectacle. When and if it happens, I'm going to be tuning in. I'm sure you'll be tuning in. It's going to be fun. But back to you then. Elliot Chavez, we spoke about these Mexicans that come up over here numerous times and upset the apple cart. So what can the Geordie fans up here in the northeast, what can they expect from Harlem Eubank on Saturday night?
The kid's got 3 undefeated opponents. He's defeated 3 undefeated opponents. So this kid, you know, he comes to fight. It's going to be an entertaining fight, because I always come to fight, and it's going to be explosive.
Definitely. Again, I always enjoy watching you fight, man. Like I said, you're an entertaining fighter yourself. So get through this one. Hopefully we get a bigger and better fight in the near future. But Harlem, as always, thank you so much for doing this Fight TV, and no doubt I'll catch you at the press conference tomorrow.
Nice,
thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.